Hello everybody, I am not dead yet, and today I am reacting to a video Joshua Krat, aka the Iron Musket, made about me and the trip that him and I took together. Yeah, I was really surprised when this dropped. I didn't really expect it. I have to say, Josh, good job on the thumbnail, because I was like, what? What happened? Why'd you tag me in this? Wait a minute, that's the Shazam car. I didn't think we were releasing the Shazam vlog yet. Hold on, I'm the one that has the Shazam vlog footage. So I was really confused. You didn't really give me much time to prepare, but I've seen the video once already, and your words really touched my heart, Josh. So I am here to react, kind of add to the story, give my side of things, and just overall see what I can contribute, and maybe give you guys a little bit more insight into the trip. But without further ado, let's get right into the video.
This trip was not dead yet. If you didn't know, he flew from Canada all the way to the United States. He was originally going to visit someone else to train them for boxing, but then they completely failed and schmucked out and gave up. But that's another story. Yeah,
so, yeah, for those of you that didn't know, and most of you don't, I don't know why you would know this, I was originally going to go train somebody else, because that person actually hired me for boxing, but that kind of fell through. I'm not gonna say exactly who it is, however, I will say that she does fitness. So, let me know if you're interested in that story, because it's a bit of a doozy. Maybe I'll tell it.
He flies down. I'm late to pick him up.
Yes, he is. 2 hours late, man.
That was the first day of the trip. We couldn't find any freaking gas. You hear that, guys? Your mom gay.
Which mom, Josh?
Yo, this is the edgiest freaking... Oh, you can't even see it.
Josh, I literally, I'm looking at a black screen. This screen is darker than you. Like, come on, man. Like, bring a flashlight next time.
That says Trump is gay, and then this one says Trump 2020. This one says okay boomer, and then this says I'll just say neighbors in Paris.
That neighbors joke is actually a reference to a really, really stupid joke that I told him on the trip, and the joke was, what starts with N, ends with R, and is something you never ever want to hope to call a black person? Neighbor. So I find it really funny that Josh decided to use that as his censor. Good on you for remembering that, I guess, Josh, but whatever.
Not dead yet is hands down one of the greatest friends I've ever had in my life.
Right back at you, Josh. Honestly. Like, and your words mean a lot.
And that is stunning to say within 30 days. Okay? 30 days. Went from, oh, cool YouTuber. Oh, wow, he's got a lot of passion. Oh, wow, I don't know if I can actually see him that much during the trip because his personality might be a bit draining.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't. I still don't understand how you're able to put up with me for a month, and I mean that quite literally. I don't get it, but I'm glad you were.
This man goes on a run every freaking day, early in the morning before breakfast, before calories. And he goes for a run with, I believe it's 10 pound or 5 pound, but who cares? It's still added resistance. Ankle weights and wrist weights on both hands. He did not miss a day on this trip, to my knowledge.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? I train hard. Than last time.
Every single day, whether it was 12 in the morning when we were looking around for gas that first day, we went to 15 gas stations. Ain't nobody got gas here in the deep freaking South. And I know I say I live in the deep South, but when I say the deep South, I didn't realize the deep South had a deeper South.
We literally saw a saloon. Like, he's not kidding.
Not Dead Yet inspired me in more ways than I can even put in one video. He showed me the power of discipline. I believe the second day of him being in the United States, he brings Tupperware to a burger place with all this greasy food and thousands of calories per plate. Yes, per plate. and he brings a Tupperware, and it's full of his favorite food. It's not no chicken breast and broccoli. I'm not saying you can't like that and that can't be your favorite food, but when you think of Tupperware and, you know, the bodybuilder walking into the building and blah, 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 he pulls out the chicken breast, it's like, oh my gosh, oh man, your life sucks, huh? It's like, yeah, it does, but, you know, anything for the gains.
It was, what did I bring? It was a salad that I made, a pork chop seasoned with gas station salt and pepper packets because I was too poor to buy some. I didn't want to buy some. I refused to buy some when I could get free salt and pepper packets at the gas station. And rice. It was just plain rice that I ate cold that Josh cooked like in bulk. We cooked this like big bag of rice, and it turned out to be like way more than we anticipated. And so for like the first 3 weeks, I was just eating nothing but rice for my carbs at dinner. It was really good though.
Just little things like that inspired me to do the same thing when my family came to town about a week later when he was still here. What I'm expecting is the family being like, hey, you sure look like you're not having a good time over there. I see you have minimal calories. You sure you don't want to eat some of this 5 billion calorie banana pie? And then I have to resist them about 20 times. That's what I'm expecting. But all they did was ask once.
Yeah, most people I find don't care. If you look like you're suffering, then maybe they'll be like, hey, why don't you have some of the good stuff? But if you look like you're enjoying your stuff and you genuinely do enjoy your stuff, most people don't say much. Most people are too absorbed in themselves to really care. And I mean, I personally just don't really see the fun in eating out all that much anymore. Like greasy food just kind of disgusts me because it makes me feel horrendous, and so I don't bother eating it. I'd rather have my own stuff.
And here's the thing. I told Eli when he was flying here, hey, listen, man, I have a thing called a social battery. Sometimes it stays charged all day long. I could go all day long, but then some days it starts at 0. It's just like, nah, I'm going back to bed. So I told him that, and I warned him, hey, I might only see you 3 times a week. I might just visit wherever the hotel is you're staying at, and maybe hit a workout every now and then. And
that's exactly what I expected.
all it took was, I don't even know what led it on the first time, but it was just one time where we've been driving around for ages. He was like, yo, what did he say? I don't even know. I think it was just like, I'm gonna make my French toast. You can stay at the hotel as long as you like. And then
he showed up with a suitcase, and I was like, huh, all right, cool.
We realized there's a freaking pull-out couch. I used the pull-out couch the first day, never used it again. I don't know why, but I like sleeping on just the couch.
His pull-out couch situation deteriorated over the course of the trip. It started out, he used the pull-out bed once, and then he used the couch for a little bit, and then it was just straight floor for like 1 or 2 nights, and then he went back to the pull-out couch. It was so funny. He never, like, there's this pull-out bed, and he just sleeps on the couch. Most of the time, sometimes he didn't even, like, actually get ready for bed. We were up so late that he just passed out on the couch. Oh, my God. Look at this guy. It's a pull-out bed. And yet, instead of actually using it as a bed, he just lies down on the couch in his little snuggie thing. I mean, like, his sleeping situation has been very interesting, because like, there was one time where he just slept on the floor on linen sheets. Anyway. Even when we went home, because I spent a couple of days at Josh's house, even when we went home, some of the days he didn't even sleep in his own bed, he slept on his couch.
And then I just moved in because he offered. He was like, hey, you know, you can move in. I was like, I didn't expect to do this, but here I am. It makes no sense. I would not move in with somebody that I couldn't stand. So that's one more thing I should say about Eli, is that there are some people that will absolutely love him. From what I can tell, Johnny Shreve.
Josh, it's ya boy, Johnny Shreve, IFBB Pro, Mr. Tell It Like It Is. If you are going to refer to him, you have to use all of his titles. We've been over this.
Greg, Doucette, all of them, they like Eli, but he's told me about some people in his past, and this man has a really rough past. Like, my gosh. This man has dealt with Filipino racists. He's corrupt boxers, teachers, trainers, family problems. I mean, what in tarnation type of bullcrap?
I've lived a pretty rough life. It's been quite. It's been an interesting one. Yeah, I at the very least I can say I've lived an interesting life. Hasn't not a good one, not a long one, but an interesting one.
It wasn't all peaches and cream when Eli came to visit. One occasion, which you guys don't know about, which is one I'm not proud of at all, and I would say it's pretty much one of the lowest points of my life.
And see, this, I was really surprised that he went into this in this video. We talked about, like, I was perfectly fine with it staying under wraps. We kind of talked about, like, are we gonna bring this up? And he's like, oh, we should probably save it for whenever one of us gets into drama and they try and say that, like, oh, you don't care about each other. But and then we can be like, nope, look at this. So I was actually genuinely really surprised that we're bringing this up right now.
It was a turning point when I realized that Eli is not only a good friend but a good mediator. He's good at remaining objective when there's an argument, and even when he's having to defend himself, he knows when to criticize himself, which a lot of people, they can dish out the tell it like it is advice, and when it comes to taking it, they can't do it.
Everyone loves honesty until that honesty is pointed towards them, and very few people can accept it. Josh is one of them, and I respect him immensely for it.
So one night, we were driving home to the hotel, and I was feeling pretty happy. I forgot what I was happy about. And I said, hey, let's buy a bottle of wine. I'm 21, let's do it. And he was like, oh, I don't drink, I can't drink. I can't drink, I'm a boxer. What do you think this is? And I'm like, okay, cool. And I told him, I'm not gonna get drunk where I'm at the point where I can't even walk and I'm stumbling and I'm slurring my words and all that stuff extremely. And that's exactly what I did. I think he went for his run, and I just started having a little bit. Now, one thing I am proud of, your boy tracked every calorie. Let's go. We tracked every calorie.
W.
Every calorie.
And it fit into his day, so he didn't go over. So good for him.
It was like 524. I called someone, I heard some pretty bad news, and I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but that is what made me start drinking more than I originally planned. He comes back to the hotel, and I wake up. Notice that I said I woke up because I went to sleep. I was on the ground. And I see him walk in, and it's this horrible look of disappointment in his face, which I'll never forget. But I promised him, and I failed. And it still kills me to this day. So as I'm lying on the ground in my own vomit, he says the quote that I said in the car. He says, I'm not gonna get crazy drunk. Essentially reminding me of what I said.
So, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of my perspective in this, because yeah, he's right. I did a full workout. This happened at 3:30 in the morning. I went downstairs, went for my run, and I come back up to put my weights back because, you know, I'm drenched in sweat and stuff. And he's perfectly fine. And so I go back down, and then I do a full body lifting session, and then boxing. There wasn't a bag at the club, but I took 5-pound weights and shadow boxed for half an hour with the 5-pound weights in my hands. And so I come back, and I'm just dead tired, and I just want to eat and go to bed. And I notice Josh on the ground. And actually, at first, I didn't notice him because I think I left something in the weight room. So I come in and, like, I don't see him, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I go take my stuff and leave. And when I come back the second time and I see him on the ground, I thought he was messing with me. I thought, oh, haha, funny joke. And then I saw the puke, and I think Josh says it later on in the video where he talks about, like, I say you could have died. And yeah, because when I walked in, I found him laying on his back. And I don't know what happened, obviously. I wasn't there for it. But from my perspective, he woke up when I went to go put him into the resting position. I'm a lifeguard. I'm trained in first aid, so I know that, like, if somebody's, passed out, once you check that they're okay, which is what I did. I checked his pulse and checked to make sure he was still breathing. As I started moving him into that position, that's when he kind of woke up and was like, hey, no, I can move. And so I told him to, like, lay on his side.
And even while your emotions are numb a little bit while you're under the influence, that's when I sobered up real quick. And I felt like such a failure. And I felt like at that moment I had lost a friend. Not because he said that he hated me or something. It was just the fact that I didn't keep a promise. I remember he said, you could have died from choking on your own vomit. You're lucky I came here when I did. And then he said, I'm gonna stop talking to you right now. I'm gonna go to bed. We'll talk in the morning when I'm not so pissed.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember, what did I say? It was one of the things I said before I went to bed. I was like, I'm lucky I walked in on you now, because could you imagine if I came an hour or two later and I came into the room and found a dead body or something like that. It was along those lines. I remember being so angry because I hadn't eaten. It was 3:30 in the morning. I was running on like 6 hours of sleep for like 2 or 3 days, and all I wanted to do was eat and go to bed. And Josh was cooking a steak that we had bought that day, and to Josh's credit, the steak was delicious. Really, really good steak, cooked to perfection. But yeah, that was also when he cooked all that rice. But yeah, I remember being furious, and it was this weird mix of relief and anger. Like, I was just so angry and disappointed, but at the same time, I was just so glad that I arrived when I did.
And then I think he opened the door once more, maybe a minute later, and he says, I want you out by morning.
Actually, no, I remember exactly what I said that night. I said, I'm going to bed now, and I'm going to stop talking to you before I say something I'll regret. I want you out by morning. And then I closed the door, and then I opened it again, and I think I mocked him again with the, oh, I'm not getting drunk. And then he said something. He said something in return, and I just said, "We'll talk tomorrow when I'm not so pissed. When you're sober, and I'm not so pissed." And yeah, it was a rough night for the both of us.
At that moment, I figured a friend who just flew from Canada became a greater friend I now lost due to my own inability to control myself.
I also thought I lost a friend that night, but we'll get a little bit. I think he goes a little bit more in depth. I'll talk a little bit more when he does.
And I didn't want to talk in the morning. I wasn't ready at that moment. I knew I would be ready to talk eventually, but at that moment I was so pissed at myself. I didn't even want to talk to even the concierge or the valet. I didn't want to talk to nobody. Look, I'm not the type to where I screw up once and I'm like, okay, Dad, I'll never see you again. No, I'm not that type of head,
yes, you are.
face, but I'm not that type of person. I just needed time. So I just called the valet. I packed my stuff as quietly as possible. I drove about 150 miles away to a rural area, got an Airbnb.
Josh, you left out the part where you left your room key in the room, and they had to call me to let you in. So what ended up happening was I wake up at it's 4:00 by the time I actually get into bed, and I wake up again at 7 or 8 o'clock, and I'm just in a daze, right? So I go to go pee, right, and I go to use the washroom, and if you saw our hotel room there, it had two kind of main entrances. There was the living room, and then there was the kind of master bedroom, and the bedroom had like a bathroom in it, and then the living room had the kitchenette in it. So I used the bathroom, and I opened the door to the kind of main room where Josh was, and I look, and he's not on the floor anymore, and the vomit's cleaned up kind of to the best of his ability, and all his stuff is still there, but he's gone. And I'm like, okay, so he, like, and again, like, I'm still like half asleep, massive days, like I slept horribly, and I'm like, okay, so he's still here. He left. He's probably, upset, collecting himself. He got up to go for a walk or something. That's great. I'll talk to him when I'm awake. So I close the door. I go back to bed and fall asleep. At like 9 or 10 o'clock, the phone right next to my head just. I'm like, yeah, what? Click. Hello? What's going on? And they're like, hey, are we allowed to give Joshua Kratt a room key? And I'm like, what? Yes. Click. And then I pass out again. And I wake up again at like 11 o'clock or like noon. And then I open the door and all this Josh's stuff is gone. But yeah, so Josh, you left out the part where you forgot your room key in the room. And I had to be woken up to let you back in. And
after that, I just stayed on my own. Started working on the strawberry shortcake ice cream. Deleted Instagram because I didn't want to hear any bullcrap from anybody else.
Yeah, he was gone for 4 days. I didn't know that at the time, but I was still pretty upset when I woke up, so I didn't reach out right away. I wanted to take some time to collect myself, and so I let Josh kind of take some time to collect himself too. I knew I wanted to reach out, but I knew when I first woke up I was still really mad, and I just needed time to, like Josh said, kind of collect myself and be ready to talk.
After a while, he reached out, he said, so are we just not going to talk about it?
That's actually wrong. That's not the first thing I said to him when I reached out. The first thing I said to him was, you left your apple cider vinegar. And he replied, enjoy. And that's when I said, are we just not going to talk about what happened? But no, Josh, stop lying. That's not the first thing I said. The first thing I said was, you left your apple cider vinegar.
And I said we did. Because technically we did. At the hotel. It was kind of like, you're drunk? Yep. And you're here. But, we can laugh about it now, but
yeah, the time was rough.
It wasn't funny at all. I come back, friendship is stronger than ever before.
Hell yeah.
We now know how to communicate at rock bottom.
No, I agree with that. That was a real, we had a long talk. We went back and forth. There was some serious communication going on between the two of us. And, no, I'm glad that it happened. Because it showed me what Josh does when his back is against the wall. And I respect him immensely for it. Like, I know he said it haunts him, and it's hard to think about to this day and how he failed. But it's not your failures that define you. Your failures only define you if you let them. Josh didn't let it. Josh chose to rise above this. And that is something that I will forever respect him for. Because when he first left, I thought he was running away. I thought he was just trying not to face what he did. And, just kind of escape, especially when I saw him in the Airbnb. I'm like, oh, so he just doesn't want to tell his parents that what he did, and he's just running away to hide. But no, he faced it, and immediately in facing it and talking it out with me, my respect for him went through the roof. Hey, so I'm editing the video currently. My editing software has currently not responding, so really hope that fixes itself. But I did save the project, so we should be okay. But anyway, editing through and watching all this footage reminded me of one moment in the whole wine incident where my anger peaked, and what made me the most angry out of it all. And I don't know if Josh even remembers this, but while we were... It was after I went downstairs to get some towels and some disinfectant to kind of clean up, the mess. And I kind of sprayed disinfectant on where the vomit was, and I was placing towels there to kind of absorb whatever, make sure I didn't step on it and whatever. And as I'm doing that, I just hear Josh go, "Eli?" And I remember going, "What?" And he just says, "I'm sorry." And I remember in that moment being the most mad I had been in that entire experience. I was already furious, of course, but at that moment I remember looking at him on the floor, apologizing to me with that voice. And I just remember thinking, God, you are fucking pathetic. And it made me so mad in the moment because I knew he was so much better. And I remember ranting to... It was a girl, a friend I thought I'd made. If her name was Haley. If you want the story with her, I'm sure Josh and I would be happy to tell it because she is quite... her story's interesting to say the least, but anyway, I remember ranting to her about the situation just to vent my frustrations. And I remember saying, "This is who I came to see. This is Josh Kratt. This is it." And I remember saying, like, I know he's better than that. He knows he's better than that. So why weren't you better? I remember being so mad because I knew that he could be so much better than that, and yet he wasn't. And that's why I got so mad in that moment. And I'm so happy and proud to say that Josh is and was better than that. In the aftermath of it all, and the way he carried himself since that night, he's proven that he's better than that. And it goes back to what I said before about not letting your failures define you. Josh truly rose above his own failure, proved to me, and I hope to himself, that he was better than that. And I'm not telling you this part of the story to kind of shit on him or make him feel bad. I'm telling you this because it's a success story. It's someone who failed, who made mistakes, but learned, grew, and rose above them. And to me, it's inspiring. And I'm so proud to call Josh my friend because of it. And I look back rather fondly on that moment because of it. Because I know how far he's come, and I'm truly proud of that. Hey, so I look like death wormed over, and I always kind of do whenever I post these, like, editing updates in these little videos. But anyway, I'm actually going to end the video here because I'm approaching 30 minutes already. I've been editing this for like the past 3 days, and I still have about an hour of footage to sift through and realign because my original screen recording got deleted, so I'm actually downloaded the video and I'm chopping it up and whatever. So I still have a lot to add. I still have a lot to tell you guys about our trip in regards to the stuff Josh said in his video. So I will post the rest whenever. There will probably be another upload before that, but we'll just see how editing goes. But until those videos come out, I am not dead yet, and if you are not either, there is always a tomorrow waiting for you.